Hey, hi there, Lisa Marie here. I've been asked a few times if I would share how I track my food and my weight and my measurements. So I thought I would show you what I do. When I very first started, I think I used a composition book, that you can get at Walmart, especially when school is going back, and they're like 25 cents each. Crazy great deal. You can also find them at the Dollar Tree, the 99-cent store, things like that. I personally like things with a spiral now because I can fold it over and lay it flat or open or whatever I want. But then I graduated to something that I call a bullet journal. And basically, you can look online. There's great things. The guy that kind of made it popular, it's basically a way of keeping your calendar and your to-do list all on one page. And it does it in bullets, ding, 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 and it goes down like that. So it's kind of what I did. This little handy dandy thing is actually called a traveler's journal that I ordered on Amazon because it's small enough that I can carry like a clutch. It fits in my purse or a backpack or a bag or whatever, and it's what works for me. So it took me a while to graduate to this, but it's something I like. So when you first buy it, it is just basically this leather outside pouch. And yes, there are lots of crafts and way you can make something like this yourself. I'm just not very crafty, so I did this. When you first get it, it comes with 3 of these little booklets. One of them is blank. One of them has the lines like this, and then another one's like graph paper. It's got the little tiny squares all over the page. And this one I put here in the back, and I found a sticker because this is the stuff that won't rotate out, that won't change on me, whereas the front half does. I mean, as I fill it up, then it's going to get filed. But this one I needed to keep with me at all times. So it's our family's birthdays, anniversaries are here. I marked them by the pink. But what I then started to do is I wanted to track my weight and keep it somewhere the same instead of in 4 different places. So that's why I use this. So if you can see here, I pretty much started my journey, and I apologize, it's backwards, but I started my journey, I was only 53, now I'm 54, and then I wrote some just kind of important information. I learned my blood type, just a little kind of thing for my sake, when and where I had my surgery, when I started my pre-op, and where I was at my surgery. This is the tricky part. And I'm telling you, when you first start, please, 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 please do not be obsessed with a scale. It has lied to you forever and a day. Why do you think it's going to change now? It still lies to you. First of all, when you get out of surgery, you're filled with gas and fluids and all that stuff. So you've got all that water stuff to get out of you, and the scale is gonna lie. It's gonna tell you and mess with your head, and that bully that maybe talks to you like it did me is gonna tell you all kinds of crazy stuff. So please don't get obsessed with the scale. I didn't. I knew I wanted to track it. I knew I wanted to have a starting point, and I knew I wanted to track it. But, hey Tammy, yes, this goes with me everywhere. It's my brain. So if I lost this, oh my gosh, I'd be in so much trouble. But that's why in the very front I say, if found, call me or call my husband, because you just never know. So if you can see how all of these are all whited out until about down here? Because at the very beginning, all I did was the date, what my weight was, and I think somewhere in there I did start saying how much I had lost or gone up from my surgery weight. Well then, way down here, way over here, so 3 months, 4 months, here's 2 months, here's 4 months, So here's 3 months. So it was like almost month 4 that I realized, I think I kind of want to track some other information. So I went back and I wrote all this down, and I went back and whited that out so that I can have the date, what I weighed, what I lost since surgery, what I lost from my highest weight, and then if I went up or down that week compared to the week before. Mind you, I did not do this at first, and I'm so thankful I didn't, because, oh my gosh, when you go up pounds and up ounces and then down a crazy amount of pounds, I'm sure I would have been very discouraged. So I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I saw other people doing it, and I saw the discouragement, and I saw the despair that it was causing people, so I didn't do it until 4 months in. So then now that's what I do. I keep track now of the date, my weight, how much I've lost since surgery, how much I've lost total, and then how much I lost from the week before. And as you can see, I'm now at 9 months. Look at that craziness. 107.3 pounds. It's crazy. And some weeks I'm up. You know, I don't know why. It's just our body. And sometimes I'm only down a little tiny bit, 1 pound or a few ounces. I just don't stress over it, because everybody's body's different, and 54 years of stressing over stuff, I'm not going to do that anymore. So then, back here in the back part of my journal, I then decided to take my measurements. Yes, don't do it in the beginning. If all you want to do, all I did was track the number of what I weighed, and then I think I did track what I had lost from surgery, but I wrote it down, closed it, moved on with my day. I did not go back and look at it, and I only weigh once a week. I weigh every Sunday morning, same time, after I get out of bed, go to the bathroom, make my tea. Before I drink anything, before I do anything, I then go away. So I'm in the same thing. I'm in my nightie and my socks, and it's the same thing every Sunday. So that's just what I do. But I just track it, close the book, and move on. Don't stress over it. I'm telling you, stress makes your body do all kinds of crazy stuff too. So why give yourself that added hurdle? I don't like it. So then, I don't know, somewhere along the line, I actually did take my measurements. I had my husband measure everything. I mean, my neck, my bra line, my chest, my waist, hips, the top of my arm, then at my elbow and my wrist, as well as my thigh, my calf, and I even measured my foot. That's right, I measured my foot. I don't know why I did that, but I did that, and I'm glad I did that, because I've actually lost a ½ an inch in my foot, and it has made a difference in my shoe size and my shoes. My shoes are so much looser now. So kind of what I started with that is I just did it. As you can see, I skipped a few months. I didn't measure in there, and then I didn't measure again until January, and that's where I started being consistent. And that's where I also then saw, I made a total thing, and that's where I also saw the big difference. So kind of crazy how much our body can really change in things. And then another part that I keep track of here in my bullet journal, I put a piece of this, I don't know what it's called, but some special little tape. I get it at the Dollar Tree because it's just cheaper. And this is actually in my original one, and I realized, oh my gosh, that's information I want to keep with me, because this one got filed away. And it's over here, but these little thingies sticking up right here, that's what all of this information is. And I thought, I don't want to have to keep searching for that. So I went to this back portion. I put some of that tape there so I can find it easy. And this is all of the information that a lighter me told me, which is where I had my surgery, and my nutritionist and doctor through Kaiser, because that's my medical insurance now. So that's all in one place, and it's handy, and I can look back to it and refer to it. And if somebody has a question, that's usually where I go, because that's where I kept the answers. So I kind of want to show you the evolution of my bullet journal. This is called a receipt book, and it's at the Dollar Tree, and they're black and they're brown, so it's not very thick, but it has the lined pages, and it's $1. The only thing it didn't have was some kind of a page marker, so I just stapled a ribbon here to the back, and I use that as a page marker the whole time. So the original way to do a bullet journal is you have an index that tells you your key and how you're coding things. You do that, and then you have things that are for future, stuff that's going on month by month in the future. So I filled out all of that. I pretty much did it like you're supposed to. And then here was my very first way. I decided I wasn't talented or gifted in the drawing category, so I printed out off the computer a calendar and then I folded it up. That's a pain. It didn't work for me. Going down this way didn't work for me either, but that's kind of what I did at first. And this is how I originally started tracking my day and my stuff. I would put in the stuff that I needed to do for the day, and it was just my to-do list. But then I drew this thing down here. I wanted to know how much water I was taking in, if I walked, and doing my quiet time. I kind of had some basic things that I was trying to track and what I wanted to do. The problem was I had to redraw that every single day, and it was annoying. So I saw somebody do something like this, and it was called a monthly tracker. And so you basically have your things that you're wanting to track here, and then the days of the month, and then you fill it in compared to, you know, what you're doing. And originally, so because I'm a visual person, here is a little bit better view of that without all my chicken scratch on there. So these were things that I was wanting to track back then on a regular basis and kind of have something to look back in the month. If I did my quiet time, if I walked, took my probiotic, if I had to have the apple cider vinegar, which at first I did, coconut oil, my vitamin is a patch, put it on, put it off. Then household stuff. Did I tidy up? Did I prep for tomorrow? Did I put lotion all over my body because I was so dry? Was I in bed by 10? Did I have a bowel movement? And complete my diary. I was not regular at first, not at all. And so I just wanted to keep track of that, and that was on my tracker. And again, I put this special tape on the edge so I could find it quickly. Well then, I saw this and thought I just had to share. Sunday, January 8th was the day that I actually went public and told everybody on Facebook that I'd had weight loss surgery. What? And it was really a good response. I really was surprised because I've seen other people that didn't go so well. So then I kind of grew and progressed in how I tracked different things. Again, I was still keeping track of everything on here and having to rewrite it the next day. This is where I started to do something different. I took a week like this, had things here, and this is when I very first started tracking things that I made in Excel and printed it and stuck it in here. I tried doing my moods and stuff, and yeah, that was just too much work, didn't do it. But this is, so I don't know what I did with that one, but this one is all of that little stuff back here on the monthly, but by the week, because here's a whole week at a glance, here's a week. it worked for a little bit, and then I progressed even more. And now it dawned on me, rather than rewriting everything, there were things I really wanted to track with my food, what I was having, when I started, and when I finished. I don't remember why. That was something my nutritionist had asked me, to pay attention to that. So this is a blank one of that. And here's where I would track my water, how much water I had in a day. And then my totals that I was paying attention to are these things here. And then this. Mind you, that did not last very long, because trying to track when you ate and stuff, it just didn't happen. So a couple weeks later, I got frou-frou and creative, which that's my extent of creativity. But I stopped tracking that other stuff, and I just went to quiet little things here. This is also then where I kept track of different information that I wanted to remember from that week. Here is now, this is when I first learned, so I'm still tracking this, but here was my whole week at a glance. Then here is the end of the week, my reflections from the week. So if there was anything that I needed to reflect on, if there were any highlights from the week, anything maybe I was challenged on or had trouble with, and then I had to decide, were there things that I did that I wanted to keep, and were there things that I did that I could toss out? So I would write that there. It's basically pretty simple. So then it wasn't until February that I decided, okay, I wanted all of my food in one place. So I have two different sizes, and I don't know why I have two different sizes, but I did. So I made this on the computer, printed it, because I wanted a whole week all at once. So these are kind of squinched, and this is wider. And it worked. It worked for me for a while. And it was still the basic. What I ate, my water intake, my totals that I wanted. But then way back here, my new way didn't hit until the end of March. And that's when I decided, hey, I can just track it all in one place, make one printout, cut it out, stick it in, and I use this amazing double-sided tape that's just so awesome. But this is where I then started doing this, and this is the one that I've been emailing out to people. Because it's in Excel, you could totally change it to do whatever it is. I mean, you can make this whatever you want to track. And then here's my totals. If you want to total something else, total something else. And then it has enough space here to track your water and write your meals in there. So that's kind of what I do. And today I actually just changed it a little bit. I added this column here so that I can know each meal how much calories and protein for each thing. I also changed some of my list things here just a little bit, but I thought I would show you the difference in what it is. So obviously I made it today. I will actually change it next week. So here's this week. This is how I keep the date and do that stuff. This is my new one. So the old one obviously fits in this book just fine. But look, adding that extra little column, it'll still stick in my book just fine. I just will cut them out and stick them on there. The only thing I didn't make room for, which I might have to play with when I get back, is the date, because I do like having the date and knowing what day of the week this is for. But that's what I track. That's how I track it. This is definitely our life, all in this book. And I still do the same thing every week over here. I have the week and all of my stuff that I have to do. And then at the end of the week, which will be here, is my Sunday and then my reflections from that week. Sometimes I fill it in as the week goes, and sometimes I just do it on a Sunday in the afternoon. But that was an awful lot of information. So sorry about that. But if any of it is something that you think you might use or you want, message me, email me, I guess message me and send me your email, then I'll email you this Excel spreadsheet, and I'm telling you, manipulate it, do whatever you need to do to make it your own. But if anything, just track what your doctor wants you to keep track of. You know, it might just be your protein and or calories, or it might be your sugar, might be your fat. If you're following different food programs, there's different things that you're going to want to track. So just fill that in according to what you want. And that's my way of tracking and kind of how it came about. I do measure once a month, and I weigh once a week, and I don't stress over it. I'm forever forgetting how much I weigh. Somebody will ask me, and I'm like, let me look. Oh, the last time I now weigh 127. I just don't obsess over it. 54 years old. I've obsessed over enough stuff in my life. So I don't get over crazy on it. And stalling, maybe it's because I haven't stressed over it. Okay, Tammy, perfect. I don't know. I don't know if this is related or not, but I haven't stalled. I haven't stalled at all. There were a couple of times where my weight went up, and then it would drastically drop 7.6 pounds, and then I would go up 0.4, but then drop. And I really attribute that to not obsessing over the scale. I just don't. For my body, I do for my food, but not for my body. So those are my tips. That's how I do it. Hopefully it's helpful, and I totally will share anything. Ask me anything. I'm definitely an open book. So have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.